Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my Crowd Grant Challenge project. Come on inside, let me show you around. Hey everybody, my name's Joe. Thanks for joining me. I'm here with Best Technical, my small upstart that I'm using to launch my new idea, the Maverick Engine Generator. But before we get into that, I'd like to take a minute or so and give you a little bit of background on myself. Basically, I love building, designing, dreaming up things and solving problems. I've been doing it ever since I can remember. One of my first things that I thought I invented was the wind-up flashlight that you crank it and it charges the batteries. I had watched a special on TV once about the guy who invented the free-play radio, and I thought, well, if this guy can do it with a radio, why can't it be done with a flashlight? But, you know, when you're 10 years old, it's hard to kind of launch an idea and get a lot of support. So that's just kind of an example, and I've always enjoyed tearing things apart and, you know, figuring out how they work, put them back together. Maybe they work when you're done, maybe you got to tear them apart a couple more times and figure that out, but that's just how things work like that. I have a background in welding and fabrication, and I've done that as a career choice, and now I moved on to a drafting and design for my career, but I still use all those skills I've learned throughout my life. Right now we're in my workshop here. I've got my lathe in the back there, my mill over here, some welding supplies around here. You'll notice my newest project is my recumbent trike that you saw me pull up on earlier. That was a really good project because I was able to model and design that in Inventor, do a 2D drawing of it, get all my parts ordered, come out here and start cutting and welding, and then in about 3 weeks I rolled out on my new trike. It was a really, really good project because it was able to be involved through the whole process, where basically from the infancy of the design up into the final product. And that's what I love to do and see and solve all those problems in between. So that's a little background on me. Today what I'd really like to talk about is my new idea, the Maverick Engine Generator. Basically is what this new project is. It's an internal combustion engine and electrical generator combined into one housing. It's not your standard typical generator though. Instead of using the rotational output of an engine and converting that to electrical energy, I want to take the oscillating motion of the piston and connecting rod and use that to drive a linear generator to produce electrical output. So basically the engine itself consists of at least 2 pistons and 2 cylinders. On one side you have your standard internal combustion engine running on your auto or diesel cycle, and on the other side you have what I'm calling your vapor cylinder and your vapor piston. And the way this is working is it's going to capture the waste heat from the internal combustion engine and use that to power the vapor cycle. So we'll get into that in just a minute. The engine itself is designed to be a linear format. So basically you have your 2 pistons that are connected via a connecting rod, and they're inside their respective cylinders, and they're both oscillating back and forth like this. And that connecting rod that adjoins the 2 pistons, it is what is driving the linear generator. So this thing will be oscillating back and forth and producing the current. Now, as I was saying, the point of the internal combustion engine and the vapor cylinder, typically your internal combustion engine runs about 25 to 35% efficient. So you're losing a lot of energy that's rejected through the exhaust and rejected through the radiator if it's water cooled. So the hopes with the Maverick Engine Generator is I can recoup some of that energy also. And the idea is that when the internal engine exhausts, that exhaust is going to be carried over into the vapor cylinder. So as they are sliding back and forth, if this side is exhausting, this side will be on the intake stroke. So it'll exhaust, this will intake that combustion products and all that heat and all that energy. And then on the vapor side, it will basically lightly compress those components lightly compress those combustion products and inject a fluid which will be converted to steam, expand, and produce work on the piston. So basically that is your standard setup. You've got your 2 pistons inside their cylinders oscillating back and forth. You've got the connecting rod that is part of the moving parts of the linear generator, and this is all in one contained housing. And I've got a small clip coming up that will kind of illustrate how this works, and hopefully once you see it, it's pretty self-explanatory and it should make a little bit more sense. So check that out and we'll be right back. So that was the Maverick engine in operation. It's pretty self-explanatory once you see the animation kind of working there. I do apologize for the quality. I know it's not the greatest, but I think it does get the point across. With the Maverick engine generator, you notice that there were the two pistons and the connecting rod, part of the linear generator. And the whole point of the linear operation is to take away that component where you're taking the reciprocal motion of the piston and converting it to rotational output, because there is a reduction in efficiency when you do that conversion. So that should boost the efficiency and take more of the energy, more of the power that the engine's creating and converting it into electrical output. But you will also notice that there is what I'm calling an auxiliary connecting rod, a crankshaft, and there is a flywheel involved with this engine. And the main purpose of this is the connecting rod would be connected to one of the pistons, and this example is connected to the combustion side of the engine. And what this is used to do is it's basically used to limit the travel of the pistons so that they're not slamming back into the heads. And it's also used to store a little bit of rotational energy in a flywheel so it kind of keeps the whole system rolling. And it's used to do various other jobs that are commonly found in your internal combustion engine, like starting, timing, camshaft, powering. So you kind of need the rotational motion in some facet to make the engine itself work. So that's kind of the breakdown on how the engine works. So today I'm turning to the crowdfund project platform, because I feel that this project needs to be put out there in the public arena. I do feel that it's something I could probably come out into my workshop and tinker with and work on and probably produce a prototype eventually, but I think this is something that, like I said, needs to be kind of put out there for everyone to see and to experience and chip in, and I think that a prototype can be built pretty quickly. The whole design itself is based on existing technology. There are linear generators in operation as we speak, very prevalent in the solar industry. There are proven prototypes of 6-cycle engines working with an additional expansion stroke. So basically, the Maverick engine generator is an accumulation of a lot of existing technologies into one package that should produce a very reliable and efficient product. But once again, the reason I've come to the crowdfund platform is to obviously get some resources to fund a prototype and to also kind of get the word out, and hopefully this thing can get some attention, and if it's something that can be taken to the next level and not just some guy in his garage kind of working on it. So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish. So with your help, the goal of this project is to do some R&D, get the design finalized, get a prototype built, and have some testing to see how it works. And that is the Maverick engine generator, and I do appreciate your time. I do encourage you to check out the website. It's besttechnical.com, And there you will find links to email and Facebook, so drop us a line and let me know what you think. If you think this is the greatest idea ever, I'd be glad to hear your feedback. And if you think this is the worst idea you've ever heard of, by all means, I will be glad to read your feedback. So check us out on the web. I'll be posting updates. I'll be trying to keep the project publicized as much as possible. So check us out. Thanks again. I really appreciate your help.